Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a new calendar for you to use on your Google site. Now we need to set this up separate from your personal calendar that you have set up already, and don't worry, you can make as many calendars as you want to. So technically you can make one calendar for every class you teach. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the calendar screen. The way that you get to that is by coming from your email, click on the Google App selector at the top, and then clicking on calendar, and then that'll take you to this calendar screen. Calendars are only active whenever they are highlighted. As you can see, none of my calendars are on right now. If I click on my name, everything that was under my name pops up. So we can take that off just for right now. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new calendar for you to use on your page. So what you're going to do is click on the little down arrow that's next to my calendars. So I click on that little down arrow, and then you have create new calendar. So we're going to click that, and we're going to set in the settings for that calendar. So calendar name, we'll just make up one for this demo. So we'll say English 1. And next, you can add a description if you want to. That's optional. Location as well. Again, it's optional. Now it's real important, since this is going to go on your Google site, that you need it to be public. So what we're going to do is we're going to check mark this, share this calendar with others. And we're also going to check mark make this calendar public. The reason we want that to be public is if we're going to put this on our site and we want kids and parents to be able to access this, they don't necessarily need that NIST login to get in to see that calendar. So we're going to make it public so anyone can go on and see it, and it makes it available on their phones as well. It automatically defaults to see all event details. You also have the option to see only free busy. I wouldn't recommend using that, because then it's just going to say busy instead of actually what's happening on your lesson. So we want to leave it as see all event details. Okay. Next, we're going to just create calendar, and it's going to say, do you want to make this visible to the world? Yes. And give it a few seconds, and then it'll pop up in your My Calendar list. So you have English 1 now. Again, if you want to create another calendar, you do it the same way. Now, adding things to your calendar. You have a couple different options up here of how you want to look at your calendar. You can look at it by day, by week, by month. Typically, teachers usually use the month feature, so that way they can map out their week. You click on the day you want. So today is the 19th, so I'll click on the 19th. You're going to add in some information in here. So what we can just say English 1 dash Grell, since that's my last name, and then we're going to go down here to edit event. Now you have a couple things that you need to fill in. Where location is not necessarily necessary for this. We do need to make sure that we are on the right calendar though. So under calendar, make sure you're adding it to the correct one. Again, if you have multiple calendars, make sure you have it set to the right one. If not, it's not going to show up on the calendar once you embed it. Okay. And the description is where you want to add what's actually going on in the day. This is where you want to do a modified lesson plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in the objective. So objective, whatever you want it to be. Next, you have your academic vocabulary. So we'll say vocabulary, and then whatever you want to add in for the vocabulary. Homework or tests or anything that you use in the class that day, you can add it there. And then any announcements that you may have made in the classroom. So if someone's absent, or if a parent wanted to know if there was any announcements, you can add it there as well. Okay. So again, you want to check for have the subject and your last name at the top, so that way the parent knows which class that is. Next, you want to make sure you're on the right calendar, and then have your description filled out so they know what happened on that day. So we're going to go ahead and click save, and that shows up on our list. If you have multiple lists, you can copy these over to another classroom, just in case you're doing the exact same thing in another class on another calendar. The way you do that is you just click on the event itself and say copy to my calendar. What it does is just bring up what we just wrote, and we're just going to copy it over to another one. So for example, I can put it for A303. This is an old calendar that I had. We can hit save. Now you don't see it right here. That's because I don't have it listed here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go turn on A303, and then it'll pop up. Okay. So English 1 would show just that. A303 would show just that. Okay, next we're going to share the calendar with other teachers, and we're going to give them the rights to be able to edit it the same way that you would. Now, this would come into play when you have a group of teachers that all teach the exact same thing on the same day, and you want to have a shared calendar so that way you can share the load and have everyone edit the calendar as needed. Now, the way we're going to share it is we're going to go to the calendar that you want to share, so in this case, English 1, and there's a little drop-down menu next to it, and when you click that, we're going to go down to share this calendar. Now, at the top, you already have share this calendar with others. We already made it public. That was already set up when we created the calendar before. Under that, you have share with specific people. In this, you're going to add in the email address of the person you want to share it with. So just type in the teacher's email address. And then over on permission settings, you want to change it to make changes and manage sharing. Now, what that does is it allows them to add events to the calendar and also edit events that are already there. So as long as one teacher within that group adds an event to the calendar, it will show up on everyone's calendar. So it's like basically writing on a sheet of paper that y'all pass around. Next, the other options are you can make changes to events. So you can't create an event, but you can edit one. You can see all event details. This is what's done whenever you want to work with the students. And then the last one is see only free busy. That one isn't really used much at all. So again, with teachers, you want to use make changes and manage sharing. Once you have that set up, you click add person. It will send them an email saying that this calendar has been shared with them. They can open it in their calendars. And then once it's shared with them, then it's going to show up on other calendars. Now, these are calendars that have been shared with me. Some of them I have rights to, some of them I can just view. But the ones that have the permissions set up, I can edit as needed. Okay, finally, we're going to share the calendar with our students. Since our students already have Google Apps accounts and they have their own calendar, technically, if you make this public, they can add your calendar to their calendar so they have a list of all their classes. Now, there's two different ways you can do this. One, you can do the exact same thing we did with teachers and share it with them. We can go to that right now. So again, go to English 1, do the drop down, go to share this calendar, and then down here we're going to share with specific people. What you would have to do is add in each student's email, but we would put this as see all event details. We don't want them to be able to make changes to the calendar, so we only want them to see the details. Now, that's one way that typically takes a while because you have to go kid by kid to add it in there. The other way is just to embed your calendar into your Google site, and since it's public, they can just add it once they see it. So here's an example of one. This is a teacher over at Warren High School. She has her two calendars already embedded into her page, and these are set up as public. Now, you see everything that shows up on the calendar. If you click on the day, it shows the objective, the vocabulary, the homework, and then the reminder for the day. Now, if you look at the bottom of that calendar, you see a little plus and Google Calendar. If you click that, it will automatically pop up that calendar on your screen, and it says, would you like to add this calendar to your calendar? Say yes, add this calendar, and now it will show up on my list. Now in other calendars it shows up there. So if I change this back to the month view, everything that she had on her list is now on mine. So technically a student can go and add every teacher's calendar and have a list of everything that happened throughout the day.